The night sky above the dune sea was lit by streaks of falling light, meteors at first glance. But Captain Elias Crane knew better. He'd seen enough combat in orbit to recognize a ship's death spiral when he saw one. The craft tore through the atmosphere, its burning hull screaming as it fought gravity. It vanished beyond the northern ridge, leaving a trail of glowing plasma in its wake. Then came the sound, distant thunder rolling over sand. Elias adjusted his cracked goggles and squinted through the heat haze. His hand instinctively brushed the pistol at his hip, though it had only 3 energy cells left. He hadn't expected visitors on this forsaken planet, least of all something falling from orbit. He'd been stranded on Aurelian 4 for nearly 3 months now, a casualty of a supply run gone wrong. His ship, the Tern Voyager, had been ambushed by pirates while hauling medical supplies for the colonial frontier. The attackers had taken everything of value, leaving him to die on a barren world of dunes and storms. But now perhaps fate, or something stranger, had sent him company. Elias checked the horizon again. The glow where the craft had fallen still shimmered faintly. Whatever had crashed, it wasn't small. And if there were survivors, they might need help, or they might finish what the pirates started. He gathered his gear, a tattered medpack, a canteen half full, and his pulse pistol, and began his trek north. The journey took hours. The night deepened, the stars stretching endlessly across the violet sky. By the time Elias reached the crash site, dawn's first light had begun to paint the dunes gold. The ship, or what remained of it, was buried halfway in the sand, a sleek crescent-shaped craft unlike anything he'd seen before. Its surface shimmered faintly, refracting sunlight like oil on water. Elias approached cautiously. The hull was scorched, still hot in places. Strange markings ran along its side, neither Terran nor any alien script he recognized. He found the hatch blown open, blackened by an explosion. Inside, smoke and sparks danced through the air like fireflies. The scent of burning metal stung his nostrils. Then he heard it, a faint, shallow breath. Elias froze. He raised his pistol, moving toward the sound. Lying amid the wreckage was a figure, tall, slender, and unmistakably alien. Her skin shimmered in hues of pale lavender, faintly bioluminescent. Her armor, once regal, was shattered and scorched. A silvery fluid oozed from a deep wound along her side. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing irises of glowing amber. "Stay back," she rasped, voice melodic yet commanding. Elias holstered his weapon and raised his hands. "Easy there. You're hurt. I'm not here to fight." Her gaze flicked toward him, filled with suspicion and pain. "You are human." "Yeah," Elias said softly, kneeling beside her. "Name's Elias Crane. You crash-landed hard. Let me take a look at that wound." She tried to push him away, but her strength faltered. "Do not touch me. You do not understand." "Maybe not," Elias said, already pulling out his medkit, "but I do know what bleeding out looks like." He tore a strip from his sleeve, dampened it with canteen water, and began cleaning the wound. The silvery blood hissed faintly when it touched air. The alien winced but did not stop him. "You're lucky," he murmured, applying sealant foam. "Another few minutes and you'd have been gone." Her breathing steadied. Her golden eyes studied him with a mix of curiosity and disbelief. "You aid me without knowing who I am." Elias gave a tired half-smile. "Doesn't matter who you are. You're alive and you needed help. That's good enough for me." The alien tilted her head slightly, as if studying some strange new species. "Few would speak so to me." "Well," Elias said, glancing around the wreck, You're a long way from wherever you came from. She closed her eyes briefly. My ship was attacked. A traitor's ambush. I escaped, barely. Elias leaned back. You got a name. Faint pause. Seraphine Vare. All right, Seraphine, he said. Let's get you out of this wreck before it sinks any deeper. Together, limping and weak, they climbed out of the broken ship into the rising sun. Middle, the hidden queen. Over the next several days, Elias nursed Seraphine back to health inside his makeshift shelter, an old cargo pod buried halfway into a dune cliff. She recovered quickly, faster than any human could. Her wound sealed itself with a faint glow beneath the skin. Sometimes, when she thought he wasn't looking, she'd press her palms together and conjure faint fields of golden energy, an ability Elias couldn't even begin to understand. He asked questions, but she gave few answers. All he knew was that she came from far beyond the colonial borders, from a civilization called the Valari Dominion, one so advanced that humans were little more than myths to them. Still, she was different. Despite her regal bearing, she asked questions about Earth, about its oceans, its people, its music. Elias caught her staring at the small hollow projector he kept, a recording of old jazz from New Chicago. You humans, she said one evening, find beauty in such small sounds. Elias smiled. Guess we have to. The big things, wars, politics, the void, those don't offer much peace. Her gaze softened. Perhaps that is why your kind endures. As days passed, their uneasy alliance grew into quiet companionship. Elias showed her how to ration water, how to find shade beneath the dunes, how to signal passing ships, though none came. And in return, she began to reveal fragments of truth. She was no mere pilot. She was Empress Seraphine Vare, ruler of the Valari Dominion, one of the most feared powers in the galaxy. Her empire stretched across 12 star systems. She commanded fleets of living warships and armies that could erase worlds. Elias didn't believe it at first. But the more she spoke, the more he realized the gravity of her words. I was betrayed, she confessed one night, eyes reflecting the campfire's glow. My own council sought to overthrow me. They allied with the Vorn Collective, our enemies. My ship was ambushed as I fled. I do not know who among my people remain loyal. Elias let out a low whistle. So I've been playing nurse to a galactic monarch. An empress, she corrected, though her lips curved faintly. But yes, he chuckled. Guess that makes me your royal medic. Her expression softened again, something rare for someone who'd ruled 1,000 worlds. I owe you a debt, Elias Crane. One my people would not easily forget. You don't owe me anything, he said quietly. Just get well. But the truth was, something had changed between them. The distance of species, of status, had begun to blur. Elias found himself drawn to her strength, her intelligence, her quiet sadness. And though she rarely admitted it, she seemed to find comfort in his company too. Sometimes he'd catch her humming softly to herself, melodies in a language he didn't understand. One evening, as they sat watching the twin moons rise, Elias asked, When you heal up, what then? You got people coming for you. Seraphine's expression darkened. If they come, it will not be for rescue. It will be for blood. Before Elias could reply, the desert night erupted with light. A blast of plasma scorched the sand meters from their camp. The air filled with the whine of engines, small skimmers armed and circling. Elias grabbed his pistol. Looks like your pursuers found us. Seraphine stood, eyes blazing gold. No, these are not Valari ships. They are scavengers. The skimmers descended, engines kicking up walls of sand. Figures in ragged armor dismounted, weapons drawn. The leader, a burly humanoid with cybernetic implants, shouted, "We saw the crash, human. Hand over the alien, and we'll let you live." Elias didn't move. Seraphine stepped forward, her regal poise undimmed despite her exhaustion. "You should not have come here," she said softly. The scavengers laughed, until the air around her began to shimmer. Elias watched in awe as golden light flared from her hands, forming a shimmering spear of energy. In a heartbeat, she moved faster than sight. The first scavenger fell, armor cleaved cleanly in two. The rest opened fire. Plasma bolts lit the night. Elias dove for cover, returning fire when he could. But Seraphine was unstoppable. She danced through the storm of light, each movement graceful and deadly. Her armor, once dormant, reactivated, plates of living metal reforming over her body. Wings of pure energy flared from her back. Within moments, the scavengers were routed, some dead, others fleeing into the dunes. Elias stood, lowering his pistol. The camp was silent except for the hum of Seraphine's energy fading. She turned to him, expression unreadable. "I told you," she said quietly. "I am not what you think I am." Elias exhaled. "You're a damn war goddess, that's what you are." Her eyes softened. "And yet, you tended my wounds like a mortal." Ending. The choice among stars. They buried the scavengers at dawn. Elias wanted to move the camp, but Seraphine had other ideas. "They will send more," she said, scanning the horizon. "My enemies will track the wreck. Staying here is death, for both of us." "So what's the plan?" Elias asked. She pointed skyward. "We rebuild the comm beacon. There is one Valari fleet still loyal to me, the Azure Guard. If they receive my signal, they will come." 4 days, they worked side by side in the blistering sun. Seraphine guided him through alien circuitry, her memory reconstructing lost technology with precision that bordered on divine. Elias scavenged power cells, rebuilt the transmitter dish from ship plating, and spliced Terran components with Valari systems, an impossible blend of science and desperation. Alas, the beacon came online. A pulse of golden light surged skyward. "Signal sent," Seraphine said, her voice low. "Now we wait." Elias nodded. "And if it's not your people who find us first, then you must run." "Not likely," he said. "I'm not leaving you behind." Seraphine turned toward him. Her expression, usually composed, softened with something like sorrow. "You are a strange creature, Elias Crane. You speak of loyalty as if it costs nothing." He smiled faintly. "Maybe that's the only thing I've got left." That night, beneath a tapestry of alien stars, she approached him quietly. "I have been thinking," she said. "When my people come, I must return to war, to reclaim what was taken, to remind the galaxy who I am." Elias nodded slowly. "I figured as much." She hesitated. "I do not wish to leave you behind." He looked up at her, meeting her golden gaze. "You don't have to." Seraphine smiled sadly. "You do not understand, Elias. My throne is built on blood. To walk beside me is to stand against empires." "Then I'll stand," he said simply. For the first time, the mighty Empress looked uncertain. "You would give your life for me?" "I already did," he said with a half-smile. "The day I pulled you out of that wreck." Before she could answer, the sky ignited. Dozens of warships emerged from orbit, their silhouettes vast against the rising sun. Blue light lanced through the clouds, the signature of Valari drives. Seraphine straightened, her aura flaring. "The Azure Guard," she breathed. Elias watched in awe as one of the ships descended, A vessel the size of a city. Figures in radiant armor emerged, kneeling before her. Their leader bowed deeply. "My Empress, we feared you lost." Seraphine's regal mask returned, though her eyes lingered on Elias. "I live thanks to him." The commander glanced at the human with faint disdain, but said nothing. Seraphine turned back to Elias. "This is where our paths divide." He tried to smile. "Guess this is where the medic gets dismissed." Her expression softened. "You are more than that." She stepped closer, placing her hand against his chest. "Elias Crane, you saved a ruler who commands stars. But more than that, you reminded me what mercy is." He swallowed hard. "And what about you? You reminded me that not all power corrupts." For a moment neither spoke. Then she leaned forward, pressing her forehead gently against his. "If ever you gaze upon the heavens and see golden light, it will be me." Then she turned, striding toward her ship as the ramp sealed behind her. The engines roared, casting waves of heat across the sand. Elias watched as the fleet rose into the sky, vanishing into the void. The desert fell silent once more. He stood there for a long time until the last glimmer faded. Then he smiled, whispered to the stars, "Take care, Your Majesty." Epilogue. Echoes in the void. Months later, Elias was rescued by a passing Terran scout ship. When asked how he'd survived alone so long, he simply said, "Had a friend watching over me." But sometimes on clear nights aboard his new vessel, he'd glance at the star map and see a faint, distant light, moving faster than any known ship, leaving behind trails of gold. Rumors spread across the outer colonies. A new Valari Empress had returned, uniting the fractured systems under her banner. Her forces crushed the traitors and drove back the Vorn Collective. Yet her decrees had changed. She spoke of mercy, of cooperation, even alliances with the lesser races. And though no one could confirm it, some swore that a lone human vessel was seen at her side during one of her peace missions, a ship bearing the insignia of a small Terran medic corps. Whether truth or legend, only the stars knew. But Elias Crane, once a stranded captain, had forever altered the course of the galaxy, by dressing the wounds of an alien empress and reminding her that compassion was the universe's greatest strength.